and we will start the event with the tilawat. I would like to call Hassan for the tilawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah. So here we start our event. With the name of Allah Almighty. Here we have the guest, the famous Swiss maker Fulvio Bernasconi, who is from Human Rights Film Festival. So here is the brief introduction of Fulvio Bernasconi. He was born in Lugano, Switzerland in 1969. He moved to Geneva, where he obtained a diploma in political sciences at Geneva University in 1991. In 1992, he entered the Dawei, the Museum Film School, and he finished it in 1996. During his study period, Fulvio did a lot of jobs, including ski instructor, lifeguard, cultural journalist, DJ, theater assistant, and school teacher. He is very talented, I'm sure. Including his film and TV career, since in 1997, Fulvio Bernasconi is working as a film and TV director. In 2004, he attended Akron International Program of Edgeridge Wajah Master School of Film Directing. He teaches film directing in Switzerland and Italy as well. Here are the famous films of the director. He has almost written and directed 20 films in his film career. The famous films include La Diga, Bad Trips to Mars, and many more. Here is the showcase of all his films. So I would like to call Fulvio Bernasconi to come here and give us some information about his career.
Thanks. I'm impressed. Now, first of all, I apologize for my English. I'm a little bit rusty. I didn't speak English since 1 year, so I will try my best. But if you don't understand, just stop me. I will try to repeat. And so, what can I? You are all media student. So, what you are interested in how the things are done up there in Switzerland.
So you can share your experience at the film and TV.
Yeah, TV. So maybe I will tell you about two lately production. One is a TV series. It's called Banking District. It was quite a success in Switzerland, all over the world. You can check on the internet. And the other is the documentary film that I'm showing here tonight at the International Human Rights Film Festival. And if you have any question, just stop me and ask. Will be better like this. So we start with the TV series. It's called Banking District, Quartier des Banques in French, and it's a series based on the bank secret. You know what the bank secret is. It was very important in Switzerland. Basically, it means that you can put your money in the banks and nobody has the right to ask something. It's very, very useful to hide the money and not pay taxes. And of course, it was not very moral. And all this came to an end after 2008. And of course, for our country, it was a big cultural shock or economical shock, because it was really rooted in the culture. So we decided to do a TV series. It's a mini TV series. It's like 6 episodes. And the process was, maybe I have to say something. When I say Swiss, you you have to consider that we are a really small country, really small, 8 million inhabitants, and that's maybe surprising for you. We are not a lot of money to do movies and TV. So basically, we are doing so-called international co-production. It means that we have almost a country or another country like Italy or France that are putting money in our production. For example, La Diga, it's a co-production, Misericordia, a co-production with Canada and France. Fuori dalla Corda is a co-production between Swiss and Italy.
Sir, would you like to sit?
No, it's
Sorry
okay.
for interruption. If you need a chair,
Yes,
you can place
you
a chair.
can sit.
No, if I need a chair, I will take this, that one. No, but I stand. Otherwise, I'm falling asleep, a little bit tired. Now I'm fully energetic. I'm ready. I'm going. And so, in the case of banking district, it was my producer, one of my producer, Jean-Marc, who is living in Geneva, who had the idea to tackle this topic. And so at the beginning we tried to write down some synopsis, some ideas and about this. And then the TV, the major broadcast, public broadcast in Switzerland, they accept the idea. And then from then we start writing the scripts. And to write the scripts, we have what we call, or you heard the name probably, a writing room. Are you familiar with this term? Writing room, it's basically a group of people that are working on a script or more scripts. And so basically we worked for the first season, because now I just finished the second season of Banking District. We work with I think 7-8 screenwriters, and I work also a little bit on the scripts. So basically, after this idea, we had all this bunch of screenwriting, writing the script. And then we start the process when finally, more or less, the script was accepted by the broadcast. In this case, was the Swiss national broadcast and the Belgian national broadcast. We start to casting, choose the actors, and it was a long process. Because there are a lot of roles in the series, and so we cast. Because we are a small country, we don't have enough good actors. We are a small country and we speak 3-4 languages, so it was very hard to find all the actors in Switzerland and speaking French, because the series was shot in French. And so we cast in Switzerland, in Brussels, in Belgium, and in Paris. And that's for sure a long process, because when we have the good actors, half of the job as a director, it's done. If they are good, the film will probably be really good. So that was so. We need. Are you familiar with casting? Do you want to know a little bit more, or how it's done? You have an idea?
Share it with us.
Huh?
Share it with us. Tell us more about it.
Yeah. So casting goes in Europe. Let's say it goes like this. You have a so-called casting director. It's someone in charge of choosing the actor, or propose to the director or the producer the actors. So basically what they do, they send you a bunch of photos of actor and actress. And then you see the photo and you say, yeah, that could be, that's one, that's not this one, etc. And then normally they do a test, a scene, without me, without the director, just normally the casting director. They do maybe a scene of the script or another scene, but related to the project. And then they send the scene to me, I watch, and I choose maybe 3-4 actress or actor for each role. And then I go to meet the actor and do another casting, mean another scene, and work with them. Work with them will be do a scene and direct them. And the goal of this process is basically understand if the guy or the girl is a good, he or she is a good actor or actress, if she can be the character I need in the movie or in the series, and also very important, if we can work together, if I can direct her or him, if she can or he can react to my indication, to my proposal. And so basically, that's our days when I see maybe 2, 3 actors, 4, and we work together on a scene or couple of scenes. And after that, normally rewatch and we film it, and I watch it at home or in a flight often. And then we spoke a lot about my producer, about the casting, and finally we choose the actor, the actress, and then we cross fingers that's the right one. So that's a very long and very important process, and it's done with a lot of people, especially the casting director is a key person in the process. It's very important because she has to understand you, what you want, what your style of, what kind of actor you need. So it's important to cast the casting director before start casting. And then when you have the script, the cast, you have basically the job is to find the location, to kind of the right spot to shoot the series. And it's a little bit the same process as casting, but it's less complicated. We have normally in Switzerland, we have in Europe, we have what we call location scout. It's a guy who goes around, speak with me normally, and I don't know, when we are searching for banking district, we were searching a bank, and had to be an old bank that embodies somehow the tradition of the Swiss bankers. So I explained all that to him, and then he started doing research. Normally he's doing a lot of photo, and then the place that are interesting and available, we visit it. Normally the places, the locations that are really interesting, we visit. It's a small team. In our structure, it's normally we do the visit with me, the first assistant director, DOP, director of photography, set decorator, and line producer. Line producer, it's always there to see and to say that it's too expensive. It's good, but too expensive. Okay. And so basically that's part of the job, and then no, I have to do a step back. Before all that, me personally, I need to be prepared. Prepare means analyzes the script, because the script it's for a feature film is a record. I don't remember. It was maybe 100 scenes. A TV series of 6 episodes. It's more or less. I think it's around. 500 scenes, but doesn't matter. But what I'm trying to do is analyze scene by scene. Analyzing means I don't want to be too long, but it means what's the meaning of the scene, what's the main tension, what's the aim of the characters in the scene, what's the climax, what I would like to do with the scene, what's the deep meaning of the scene, stuff like this. It's a long process. It takes time if you want to do it correctly, but it's very useful to know what you want to do and to communicate this to the people and to direct the actors. So when I've done this, more or less I know in which direction we should do and which direction should push the team, the crew. And then, okay, coming back, we have scenario, scripts, location, actors, and then basically we start to rehearse with the actors. We start to rehearse, and normally I start reading. We sit down with the main character and we do a reading for about 2 days for a feature film, 4 days for a TV series. So they read the script, we discuss about the characters, we discuss about the approach, we discuss especially about the motivation of the actors, why they act like this, what's the reason of their action. And then after that we rehearse. It's very good if you can rehearse with the actor on the real location. It's great. If you do a fiction film, a short film, or whatever, you can rehearse. It's great because the actor will find his marks. It will be great. Otherwise, normally we rehearse in the studio, in theater, or whatever. And then what I'm trying to do is also to prepare the shooting shot by shot. It's called découpage in French. You use something in English. It's storyboarding. Are you familiar with storyboard? Yeah. I try to not really storyboard, but do the shoot-by-shoot preparation as much as possible. Now there is a lot of for Misericord there is car chasing, truck eating a car, truck eating a boy. That's kind of scene we really storyboard it. Otherwise, we prepare now you have software. You have new software. You can design your shooting shot by shot. It's like a plan. You can put the camera, and the one I use it's called Shot Designer. Give a look. It's for free. You have a demo for free. It's quite useful, and. Yeah, and then basically, you have all the preparation. It's costume, makeup. Spend a lot of time with the actors about their costume. It's very important. It's not because it's also a way to find the character. When they have the proper costume on her, they feel good. They feel right for the character. It's of course it's much better. And I for sure I'm missing something, but more or less that's a so-called pre-production, and then we go on shooting. That's shooting. Basically what it is. You have some experience of shooting, yeah, sure. So it's on the set. Me normally I start the day. I start what I'm doing. I go on the set quite early Normally I go, first of all, I go in the makeup room, talking about with the actor. Make sure that they are good, that they're okay, that everything is fine. And I think it's important for the actor that you make feel them they are important, that you are there. So basically it's what I'm doing first. And then visit the set, go through the storyboard, the shot by shot. And then basically we shoot. So action, cut. Thank you very much. It was very good, but we do another take. And then shooting. During shooting, I'm really focused on directing the actors. That's, as a director, it's only thing that you do alone, because the photo, the shot, shooting, I don't know, costume, sound, there is other people helping you or doing it. But directing the actors, you are the only one that can do it. And if you don't, it will be seen at the end, in my opinion. So yeah, shooting, and then after shooting, it's what's called post-production. Post-production, it's changing a lot, because of technology. Nowadays, everything is fast. Now, I can tell this because I'm just coming out the post-production of this series, Banking District 2. We did season 2, and it was really fast. And we work like this. We have 6 episodes. And we work with 2 main editors, each editing 3 episodes. Maybe one editor was editing episode 1, 3, and 6, I think, and the other one was editing 2, 4, and 5. And so the editing process, it's cut away a lot of stuff that you think it was useful, but at the end it's not. So, like they say, kill your darling. You have to kill a lot of things, cut off stuff, and of course editing, especially for a TV series, it's a long process, and you do a first cut. What we have done now, to be honest, on this series, it's that the editors were editing during the shooting, and after the shooting, I've seen a first rough cut of about 2 hours for an episode that is supposed to be 50 minutes long. So it was really rough. And then starting from this point, we cut away, and we end about with so-called version or draft of the editing that were about 1 hour 10 minutes. And then basically we start to show it to the producer. That of course it was not happy at all. No, it was okay, but of course the producer also has something to say. And often the critiques are really good for you, because after a while you miss some point. And then so we go on editing, cut away, working on the rhythm of the scene, and in some case, for especially one episode, we have to restructure the storyline, the plot, because we have problem with the dramatic tension of the episode. It was too the rhythm was too low, too slow, and what we call the tension peaks means when the tension has to be high, because the tension in a movie or a TV series must go a little bit like a wave that's coming up, up and down, but towards the maximum of tension. But we have the problem with the tension, so we have to restructure, and then took a lot of time. Fortunately, it was just for one episode that we have this problem, and then basically we cut, we find a good rhythm, and so it was in end of August we had the so-called final cut of the 6th episode, and then we do all the rest. I mean, music, composing the music. That's also a big process that starts already during the editing, and the sound design was adding the sound, choosing, changing, and then we mix all this, and all this was not, of course, a little bit complicated because we have, because of it's a international co-production, we have to spend some money elsewhere than Switzerland. So we did the special effect in France, and the music in Belgium, and the sound design was split between Brussels and Geneva. And so it was a lot of flight around Europe for me. It's not very good for the planet. But and that's it. So we mix, and then we received a special. We had quite a lot of special effect, like how do you call it? Gunshots on the people, or change a little bit the landscape. And then we did a lot in post-production, and we color correct the movie, the series, sorry, in Bruxelles, and that's it. And then it's done. And then 10 days ago, I finished with the process. It's done. It will be broadcast in February in Switzerland and in Belgium, and then hopefully will be on a little bit around the world. I think it will be on Amazon Prime and etc. But my job is done basically, and now we are working a little bit on season 3 with the other creators of the series, and we have a new team of screenwriters working on it, hopefully working on it. I have no news, but they are supposed to do something. And that's it. I was short, but if you have questions, I was quite short, but
Political sciences, but how come you came into introduction?
yeah, okay, that's it. Now, because at my time, the film school, the public film school, for the film school that I could pay, because I'm not coming from a rich family, were what you call in Europe after university. It was difficult to get in after high school when you are 19. It was almost impossible. And me personally was very interested in politics in general. So I decided to do political side before and then do a film school. That was more or less normal at that time. Now things have changed. Now the students are tendency to go in film school earlier. But at that time it was like this.
Can you refer any piece of artwork which you like the most?
Your favorite work
You are
that you have
inspired
seen
of.
and that has inspired you.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
There must be many, I guess.
No, yes, man. No, but of course I was in film. I was very influenced by the Italian cinema because basically my culture is Italian. I am coming from the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland, so I grew up watching Italian movies. So I was very inspired by I don't know big names, Fellini, Pasolini, this kind of movie really. And then me personally, I was inspired by all this generation of directors coming out at the end of 80s, like Spike Lee, Jim Jarmusch, and then later American directors like Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola. And otherwise, generally speaking, now I'm inspired by a lot of things. It's difficult to say, but I try to be in contact with everything goes on in the world. In this period, I'm also, I try to follow literature, of course, but also architecture. I don't know, lately I visit a show in London about Renzo Piano, famous architect. It's very different what he's doing, what I'm doing, and it's a genius and whatever. But I think you can always find connection between your work and the work of other people. And what I really like, for example, in Renzo Piano work on architecture, is this kind of simplicity. It's essential. And so it's difficult to answer, but I try to see pictures, I try to watch, I watch TV, I watch Netflix a lot, and try to be open, try to copy as much as possible.
Does your production
because just to justify myself, because Picasso once said, the mediocres invent. The genius steal. So I steal alone. I'm not a genius, but I'm still stealing.
Does your production plan change on set, or does it stay the same? Is it very strict? Are you strict about that? Does your script change at all, or does it stay the same
The script you
during
mean?
the production?
I would say, talking about the series, it doesn't change radically, but maybe dialogues change a little bit. During the rehearsal process and the shooting, we change quite a lot of lines are changed. But the script, especially on a TV series, you don't really have the time to change. You have to shoot what you have. And
Anything related to art direction? Does if the said something else, and during production you have to work with some other materials or some other kind of set design, or
what do you mean other kind of set design?
what I really mean is if something isn't available, or
Sure. No, sure, for sure. Especially on a TV series, it's shot during 3 days. 3 days, no, 3 months. Sometimes you have a problem. Yeah, for example, this last TV series, we are supposed to shoot in the mountains, but we had snow in May. It's exceptional. So we have to adapt. We have to switch to another location. That's for sure. It's always stressful for me and for the team. But in this case, we have quite a big crew, very fast, very professional. So we are able to switch.
also can you explain a director's relation to a DOP and AD? What it actually means to, what do you tell
The
them
tool
to
that you
do?
utilize for your production.
The crew, the tools.
crew.
Then I see there are other questions there and there, but I answered this. Now the tools. Yeah, the tools.
It's crew.
Crew. Also the people who are working with you.
The crew.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You done with
Sorry.
Are you done with your answer? You're asking a question.
No, I'm coming to you after a while. I just answered the question about the crew, and then I come to you. Now the crew, it depends. Now, basically, what is really important to have around you as a director, it's a first assistant director. That's very important. It's really a job. It's very important because it set the schedule of the shooting. That's important person. And then the DOP for sure. The DOP because you have to share the vision of the movie, the aesthetic, the photo, the style. And so I try to spend as much time as possible with the DOP. We watch film together, and normally brings photo, and we discuss about pictures, photo, and then basically we try to do the shot by shot together. We're preparing. Using this software. We are using a lot of this. With the DOP of the series, Vincent Van Gent, is a Belgian one. We are using a lot this, what's it called, shooting design? Yeah, it's a software. We are doing a lot of shot by shot together, the scene, and then, and discuss about the scene. And then, of course, the relation with the art director is very important because basically it's building the world we are shooting in. So it's more or less the same process. It's we talk about the movie or the series. We watch picture together, or movies or photos, discuss, and sometimes it's we have a lot of meeting. Just the DOP. The art director, the first AD, and me. It's to discuss about things. Sometimes it's good to have small meetings, not all the crew. And yeah, that's why we work, the way we work together. And then, of course, the relation is very important also with the other member of the crew. The costume designer is very important. Makeup. I try to work. I try to give the people who work with me as much time as possible. I mean, really take care of spending time with them. And sometimes during preparation, because it goes fast, you are tired. But sometimes I stay a lot of time in the evening till 10, 11 with the costume designer, do the costume trial with the actors and discuss. And I think it's important to show the people that you care about their job, that they are important for you and for the process. So it's something that I'm trying to do with everybody. And so I miss something, maybe I miss in the process. What's really important, you have the reading with the actors, but you have the reading with the crew. That's very important. On a movie, you spend maybe 2 days with it's called chief of department, reading the script together. Go scene by scene, analyze. Basically, it's me putting out my ideas about how we have to do it, and then the other say, yeah, but that's impossible. Okay, and find solution. And basically, that's it's a reading that takes place as soon as possible with the so-called chief of department, so DOP, AD, line producer, I don't know, makeup, chief artist, costume designer, and then props master. Yeah. But there was a lot of questions down there, ladies.
I just wanted to ask, as a director, how can we contribute women rights.
Okay. No, as a director, yeah, and then I can talk about documentaries. That's another. But generally, no, but that depends of the topic you choose. You choose to
For example,
To treat, to-
women rights is actually a hot topic these days. Women empowerment or women rights. So, how will you guide on that?
Sorry, I didn't get.
These days, a hot topic is women empowerment.
Yeah.
So, how will you guide on that?
All right. No, but I think my next feature film will probably be about violence on the women, and among educated, more rich people, and then it's a movie about. Cannot say much, but it's about try to explore how it is that a woman that is beaten by his husband stay with him. It's quite impressive, but there is psychological mechanism that work on it, and unfortunately. So if you want, then me personally, as a director, I will try to approach this topic by this film. So that's part how you the subject you treat. In another way, the way you work as a director, how can put this? The way you work, you can not discriminate the women. That's very important because you are familiar with this in US, in Europe there was this Me Too. That's very good. It's very healthy. I'm totally fan, and this kind of stuff has to stop. In our world. In Switzerland, it's not so much. I have to say, in Switzerland, we don't have this case of producer or director abusing actors. But anyway, the way you treat your collaborator, you treat the people, the women especially around you, it's something that you can do. Or I don't know if I answer your question, but there was her before. Sir.
So I wanted to ask, the whole movie revolves around the actual story. So how do you generate a story or the script for your movies? Like the movie Radhika, did you write the script yourself?
Yeah.
Like, an original idea?
Yeah. Yeah, it depends. So for me, it depends. In some movie, I had the idea, and some movie I have someone who offer me a script that already exists. Sometimes they ask me to adapt a book. So the next movie about the violence on the women will be adapted by a book. But in case La Diga it's a TV movie, and I don't exactly remember. I remember that we want to do something. I don't remember how the idea came, but basically we want to shoot something because we have this big dam in the Alps. We want to shoot something about this and saying about this was built and mixed with a kind of ghost story. So that was the basis of the idea. Then we research a lot about the period of the dam construction, which is in the 60s in Switzerland, 50s, 60s, and because to build this dam, a lot of small village was sacrificed, And so that were a little bit the topics that we were working with. But it's a long time ago, I don't remember exactly. But more or less that was the topic. But Misericord, for example, that was something that was offered to me. It was not really a script yet. It was what we call a treatment or a long synopsis. It's something like 40 pages text, and they offered me to direct it, and then we rewrote I wrote the script with another screenwriter. So it really depends. There was a question there. Sorry.
Yeah, before me, the lady, I guess.
Sorry, yeah.
What's your favorite direction or script writing? Out of your field?
My favorite director on the history of cinema, Federico Fellini.
In your perspective, what do you think you like the most? Direction or the...
Me! Sorry, I didn't understand. No, me, I really like directing. I really like working with the people. I really be on the set, I really like it.
Who you inspired from?
Who I'm inspired from? Yeah, Fellini, for example. A lot of people. Nowadays, a lot of super director. I mean, I've just seen in this film Joker in theater. Did you see this film? It's out. It's great.
Did you prefer fiction films or the reality-based films?
Both. So I'm doing both. I'm doing fiction, I'm doing documentary. You can say something about the documentary if you want also. It's totally different approach. But for me, I write direct in the fiction. It's a big circus, It's a lot of people and a lot of work. It's fun, etc. But for me, it's very important to do documentary because it's like I like meet real people, go in words that I don't know at all, and also for me it's like reconnecting with reality. It's very important because if I'm speaking for me, but you're doing just fiction, you're not out of free time. You're working all together. And you are just seeing actors, technicians, people of your world. And me, I need to see the real world around. So for me, it's very important to do documentary and documentaries. And I will try to go on and still doing documentaries.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
From academic perspective. I mean, these students are going to be in the market after maybe 10 years, at your level, maybe 30, 40 years. And the future is changing, as you said, that the post-production process is already changed. How do you see this entire arena be changing in the future? And which thing do you think that these students be considering for their own development in this entire?
Yeah.
Especially with AI thing that is going to be very in these production processes as well. Thank you.
AI, yeah, Jesus, I hope not talk too much. Yeah, what we are observing now is really the development of the so-called platform, Netflix, Amazon Prime. That's really, and that's for sure. It's something that's it's gonna change. In Switzerland, for example, Switzerland in this case I think it's quite emblematic. In Switzerland, we have a public, only one big broadcast, it's a public one, and they're going to change quite radically in 2 years. They will build a new platform, and basically all the quality content will be on the platform. And then you can choose your language, because we are speaking three, four language. You will be able to choose your language, and of course, it means that the traditional broadcast TV I think, will be less and less important. And then it's almost that we already experience. I suppose you are using Netflix here or Amazon and everything.
Yeah, they're accessing that.
Huh?
They're accessing that.
Yeah, yeah. And on the other hand, there is the so-called new technology, interaction, design.
My apology. May I reposition my question, please?
Yeah,
As you use the word content,
yeah.
from producers or the director's side, this content thing is going to change in the future, I guess. Because a lot has already been changed. People are, they are being diverted from theaters to a smaller screen, maybe to the smallest screen, maybe the smartest screen. So in that age, this content, do you think that this content will be changed as well?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. Let's put it like this: if you see a movie like Roma by Alfonso Cuarón, do you see this movie? It's great. You have to see it. It's on Netflix. This movie was Cuarón, who's Oscar winner, by the way. It was impossible to finance the movie in a traditional way. So Netflix gave him the money to do the movie. It's kind of art movie, art house. You can call it art house movie. And so it was done for Netflix. And so, it's strange because it's kind of art house, totally. And it was done for Netflix. It was quite a success on Netflix. So I would say somehow the platform or the change will not radically change our need to have stories. And little by little, I think on this platform, the content will be, the nature of the content will be the same. Of course, updated to our time, but I think we still need long feature series, story talking about ourselves, story about our community, and then science fiction. So I say some, because it's told that after dinner people have to watch something moving. Could be The Flame when we were 60,000 years ago. Should be TV, should be Netflix today. But this need human being of seeing something, a story, will be not radically changed, in my opinion. And of course, it's not the same if you see, I don't know, the Joker on a big screen or on a TV screen on your iPhone. It's not the same. But the making of it, the basis will, in my opinion, will be the same. Then, of course, it's different if you think about all what's interactive VR experience. It's totally another room. But in this, I don't believe it very much. It's too complicated. It will work when you could be able to connect your brain directly to the machine. That will be fantastic. But to cast all this, for now it's too complicated, in my opinion. So it was.
First of all, sir, Assalamu alaikum. And my question is, sir, in Pakistan we don't pay much attention in pre-production process.
Yeah.
And I want to ask from you, how much time you spend in your films in your pre-production process?
Yeah.
And this Pakistan, pre-production, we think that pre-production is only a 2 or 3 days process, and reading scripts and script breakdown is a pre-production process. What do you advise give us that how we can save us time and make our pre-production best part? Because in my opinion, I think pre-production is the backbone of it.
No, I really think that the best you are prepared, the best the movie or the series will be. And then, of course, it's all a question of money at the end of the I mean, if you go professionally, because of course pre-production costs. But in my opinion, it costs, but it saves money also, because the best you are prepared, the worse you lose money on stuff that is not useful. So I don't know. It's difficult to say. I can try to remember banking district. I think we start the pre-production full speed. I mean full speed with almost the crew. We start pre-production in this December, January, February, March. Yeah, 4 months of pre-production, full speed. And for a feature film, I would say it's 2-3 months. It's good. And documentary, it's of course coming to the documentary. It's totally another game, because you have to prepare, you have to research. That's very important. So the pre-production in that case can go on for years. Depends on the topics you want to treat with your documentary. So yeah.
As a writer, I want to ask something. When writing the script, we keep in mind the three things: the startup, the middle point, and the end point.
Sorry. You get a little bit slower because my English it's very limited. You know.
As a writer, being a writer, I want to ask you three things. When we write a script, we keep in mind the startup point, the middle point, and the end point.
Yeah.
To keep the attention of audience. How do we keep it like at not even a single point will also get attention of the audience? Mm-hmm. How can we do that in the script while writing?
When I'm reading it.
When you are writing a script,
when I'm
how
writing.
you are going to see like how you can keep the attention of the audience attached to yourself when they are watching the script. So when you are writing the script.
Yeah.
Probably you use the word waves of this change.
Yeah. Mm. No, but you know there are so-called rules, you know, and there is a lot of literature about how to write a script. A lot. Sitfield, McKee, and me personally, I'm really the most useful for me was I will put it like this. This book, The Writer's Journey, written by Christopher Fogler. It's based on the work of Joseph Campbell, who is this anthropologist who inspired George Lucas to write Star Wars. And The Writer's Journey, it's basically an analysis of how the story are told since the beginning of times. And what's the hero's journey? I mean, the hero's journey is the journey of the main character of a story, and what are the steps that he has to go through to achieve his goal. And somehow this journey is the story, and if you can respect the step of the story, I think you are on a good track. You are doing a good. So me personally, my advice, I read a lot, and there is a lot of books about how. But what's the most useful for me, it's really this book and this method, the writer's journey. It's very interesting, and it's not just technical. It's about what the story does to you as a human being.
I wanted to ask during pre-production there are a lot of differences between certain people. Like you're writing the script and like your AD, you might have some disagreements. Do you ever move forward into production, not resolving those issues, or and what does
I didn't experience a lot of main conflict about something because you somehow you have to choose the people you want to work with. I mean, if yes, sometimes we have you have conflict with the producer, but now that I'm a little bit older, I try to work just with the producer I like. And of course there is discussion. And sometimes the producer are right and you are wrong. It's useful to her to listen to them too. But for sure it's when you are working it's useful to be on the same page. Everybody. I mean every member of the crew must agree more or less on what we are doing. Otherwise, it's a disaster. Sooner or later.
Would you like to share a story about a disaster?
No, disaster it means if you don't agree with your producer about what kind of movie are you doing, at certain point there will be a great conflict in the editing room, you know. Because if you want to do an art house movie, a psychological thriller about you want to do an action, in his mind is an action thriller combat movie, that it will not work. The film will be a disaster. It will be neither a good psychological movie, neither a good action movie. So it's
Sir, I'm going to make a horror film in this month.
Yeah.
I want some tips from you.
Yeah. About what? Sorry.
I'm going to make a horror film in this.
Okay, cool.
And I want some tips from you.
Yeah. About horror movie.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's okay. Horror is something I didn't really practice. La Diga, there is some part of horror, but listen, the feature film I'm preparing, it's part horror. It's about the women, but it's a genre. And we are using the genre, it's kind of horror film, to say something about the violence of the women. And me personally, what I find interesting in horror movies, it's I think about do you know David Cronenberg? The first film of Cronenberg are like this. It's when you use the genre to say something about society. I think horror, it's a good genre to say something about the people, of course, but about how the society works. So my advice could be, if you can do a horror, let's say something about what's going on in Pakistan today, or an aspect of what's going on, it should be really interesting. And then, of course, it must be scary. And you have to respect the genre.
After making, I will send you a link.
Yeah, okay, that's with pleasure. Yeah.
Okay, we're also trying to make
Last question, sir. This is the last question.
We're also trying to make a short film about human rights.
Yeah.
About the transformative journey of a boy from the dens of terrorism to a sports celebrity of some sort.
Yeah.
So, is there a sort of formula to in script writing to highlight some growth or transformation? Is there a set formula to develop, or do we have to just
You mean to underline a theme, or
Exactly,
what?
exactly. Our waves will be. I think our waves will be straight or some like this type.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not a formula, but you have to respect the way. In my opinion, you have to respect you have to respect the structure of the script. It's important, and if you respect the structure, you are already on the right track. The structure means 3 acts. I mean, a midpoint, etc., etc. And then, of course, you have to respect the characters. In writing a script, I always discuss about this with the head writer of Banking District. Basically, everything has to come from the characters. If not, it's fake. You feel that the screenwriter had to put this on the script because he want to tell something to the audience. But that normally doesn't work. You feel as an audience, you feel that it's written, it's fake. So basically, I would say that everything that's finally in the script has to come from the reality of the characters.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Just
As you can see, the CGI is replacing the movie cast. The CGI is replacing all of the system. So how do you see the CGI will improve in future? Or
CJ, you mean computer generator? Hopefully not. No, but what cannot be replaced by CGI? It's the actor performance. What's good in the actor performance, not that he's doing exactly what you have in mind, but it's doing much more. It's doing unexpected things. And what it's unexpected, that's the richness of what you are doing. And CGI, it will do just what you put into the computer. So I have hope that in the future you will still need actors and crew and us, basically.
Thank you so much, sir. I understand that with all that pains of jet lag, you managed to be here. Good learning experience for students. एक चीज में की टेक आउट के तौर पे जो यहाँ से हम लेके निकल के जा रहे हैं प्रोडक्शन के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से खास तौर पे देयर हैज टू बी अ स्टोरी जिसके अंदर इंटरेस्ट को मेंटेन करने के लिए आर्ट्स डेवलप की जाती हैं और उनको कभी रिलीज करते हैं, कभी उनको लेके चल रहे होते हैं और स्टोरी आगे बढ़ रही होती है। नंबर 1। नंबर 2, जो अभी इन्होंने आखिरी बात की, बहुत खूबसूरत बात की, स्क्रीन राइटर जो चाहता है वो जरूरी नहीं है कि वही थोप दिया जाए। स्टोरी कैरेक्टर के अंदर से निकल के आती है, जो लफ्ज है वो कैरेक्टर के अंदर से निकल के आएंगे। तो जो कैरेक्टर है वो जब तक जो कुछ कह रहा है, अब सोचिए कि वो कैरेक्टर की अपनी पर्सनैलिटी क्या है, उसके ऊपर बेस करेगी आपकी सारी स्टोरी। Thank you so much, sir. I'll invite my students for group photos in groups. So after that, we'll be free from here. Thank you so much.